Happy Thanksgiving. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, and this is the weirdest thing to drop on Thanksgiving, but I want this is the first time I've been able to get this out. Uh, I try to do only like one TV thing a day, and I did put out, this dropped on Monday night. I had Dune Prophecy on Tuesday. I finished Say Nothing for Wednesday. So today you get Millie Black, which is a new HBO drama. It's a limited series. It's 5 episodes. They got it airing on Mondays. I don't know if this is going to gain any sort of traction, but we're going to talk about it. So it does have audio description on Max if you want to watch it on there. And it is Jamaican, which is cool. I like that. And it's Jamaican in every sense of that word too, where you have sort of that, the ever living presence of the crown, the ever living presence of colonizers, so to speak, and the reminder that Jamaica is not totally on its own. So we are focused on Millie, who is a detective who's in the missing persons unit down here in Jamaica, and she is tasked with trying to find a missing person. She has a partner. We also sort of learn from her right from the beginning that her mother gives her this weird phone call where she's like, she tells her like Millie's brother is dead and he's in hell, and we learn that's not true over the course. Her brother Orville, I don't know, I'm sorry, you don't actually need to remember their name because her brother is now she is now Hibiscus. She's transgender, so goes by the name of Hibiscus and sometimes Bis, although Millie does slip up and say the old name, which is why I was like, I said like twice, but I don't remember it. But Hibiscus is so easy to remember. So interesting choice of a name. And they I think I was kind of wondering too, because there are times where we see the text and I was like, are they using the hibiscus emoji? Like is because you can in the emojis when you text. So I'm almost wondering if it's almost like when Prince, his name became a symbol. If hibiscus's name is not like the hibiscus emoji, just it's a silly thing. But because of the texting, I was like, and that's only because I'm blind and see sighted people wouldn't get that. But when we hear emojis, it actually tells us what the emoji is. Like you see what an emoji is and you think what the emoji is. But so many times people have sent me the wrong one. Like there's like a crying one emoji and there's also like a laughing with tears emoji. And I've gotten like the sad one when somebody meant to be funny, and I've gotten the laughing one when somebody meant to be sad, because they both look like they're crying decided people, but they don't actually know. So then when it reads the emoji to us, so like with hibiscus, it's like I happen to know there's a hibiscus emoji because it's been sent to me before. I don't know what it's for. I don't know if it means anything. I don't know if Gen Alpha is using it to mean like, I don't know, Molly or who knows. But it's out there in the world. So I'm really on a tangent here. Anyway, there's a crime that's happened and it involves like a rich white family and some great lines here. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of the thing. So eventually there's this missing persons case and they're kind of getting, Millie and her partner are kind of getting blocked a lot and stopped and being told, well, this isn't your place. No, and they're like, well, we're trying to find this missing person. We just think our cases coincide. And do you know? And like people won't answer. And so it's a struggle for them. I don't know where the series is headed, but it's a pretty basic plot. So what I'll say for the series is, and this is not going to make any sense, but I would love for this to be the pull quote. I want HBO to take this. I don't know how you take this because it's a long pull quote, but if you've ever had mac and cheese before, but then you've had like really sort of like banger mac and cheese, and it's like it's really good, and you don't know what it is. Maybe they use like Gouda, or they threw in like some toppings. Maybe it's like lobster mac and cheese, and you're like, oh my god, lobster mac and cheese. They put a little bit of beer cheese in there or something, but it's definitely not your typical homemade mac and cheese. There's a little bit of spice. There's a little bit of stank on it. Somebody put a spin on mac and cheese. That's what this is for this genre. The plot of this is very basic and it's very dry, but there's so much flavor around it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's clearly such an individuality and a voice coming out of such a rather mundane plot. Like I was like, well, I feel like I know where this is headed. You know, just from the first episode. Like there's nothing about the actual case where I was like, wow, this is interesting. This case really, man, I hope they find this girl. There was nothing about it that really stuck out to me as being necessarily something I hadn't seen before or could have just been covered in one episode of Law and Order. But there's so much flavor, and I'm saying this as a white person because this film, this show has some dope drops. There's like, what was that? She says something like, behind every old white family is the ghost of a slave or something like that. I was like, damn, that's a hot drop. And then Millie has this interaction with this cop from that's come over from England, and he's like, you really should have stayed over there. Why did you leave? And she's like, I don't know, just got tired of institutional racism. And she straight up like calls him a colonizer, and it's just like, oh, the colonizers have come here to and I mean, she's such a strong presence and a strong voice here that she makes the show uniquely interesting, and it feels like this is the perspective. You've taken nothing and you've put perspective on nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you've taken the most basic plot and you found something to put over it so that we don't realize we're eating mac and cheese. I don't realize I'm just eating something I've had 1,000 times before and can make myself. But you've made the most interesting mac and cheese you could have possibly made in this given situation. So, that's my thought on Get Millie Black. Just the first episode. I've only seen the pilot. So I think the creators or the showrunners or whatever, or the writers are going to like take that as sort of like it feels almost like a backhanded compliment. It's like, yeah, your story is really basic, but what carries it is the flavor around it and how you're writing Millie. Like that's the reason to watch it. It's not because of the case. I could not be any less interested in this case. As far as trans representation goes, I guess it just isn't given that much to do here. She comes in and out, but I still wanted more. And the series isn't making that hard of a turn yet onto how Jamaicans feel about the trans community. You know, she is pulled out of a male lockup, which is like one indication to me that things are not in her favor. But I still don't know because I just don't know Jamaican culture that much. But all I know is what's in the movies and TV shows like this. So I found it amusing, and I'm white, so I feel like this is one of those things where people are gonna be like, "This show is woke." I'm just gonna be like, "Go away." So I found it entertaining, but I don't know how much I'm gonna want to watch it because it's like, again, the flavor, but at the same time, it's like, how many days in a row are you gonna eat mac and cheese? I mean, I guess some people just eat mac and cheese all the time, which is why Law and Order has been running for like 25 years. So those people will love this. those people who just like procedural crime dramas over and over and over, and they're like, I've seen this exact story and I know who the killer is within the first 30 seconds, but they still want to see it play out. Those people will watch shit like this. But for me, it's like, I still like the mystery. I still like the not knowing, you know, I still like feeling like there's some grand twist or that lies in store. I'm definitely gonna watch another episode just to see if I'm wrong, but at 5 episodes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can play it slow in the beginning. When you only have 5 episodes, you kind of have to, if you're gonna show your hand at the end, there has to be a hint, you know, of something. I just didn't pick up anything from this plot, in terms of necessarily, is this show gonna not go where I think it's gonna go? So, that's my thought on Millie Black. Audio description on this was pretty solid. I did enjoy the audio description. I hope it's appropriate. That's all I'm going to say. You have a show with Jamaicans that is primarily led by Black Jamaicans, that is very critical of colonizers. So I'm hoping that we made the right choice here in narrator. It is a slippery slope to get into sounds like territory. So I'm just always pointing that out. This is a choice we should make, and this is where representation matters, is what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Don't look at me. If you provided audio description for this, you know what I'm talking about. And this is absolutely a case of the right people needing to be at the table here for this. And I think in general, the audio description does mention racial differences, which is one of the qualities to me that, you know, differences in like skin color. And, but it does have a tendency to say like light skinned. And I'm like, what does that mean to you in this situation? Because this series is very much drawing a line between white and black. This series is less concerned with mixed race. You know what I'm saying? Like, there isn't really a place for that here. So I don't know if that's what you mean. I need you to use your words, to make a clear, definitive thing. So it's possible, that's an excellent way of differentiating between, you know, black and mixed race and white, is using that term. But at the same time, I also don't know. So, and I kind of, you know, I know that HBO probably has like, well, these are rules of things and why we should do things. But at the same time, this show is very much about, I mean, aside from murder / missing person being the number one thing, like number two is this sort of unsaid back history, or actually really just said by Millie. Millie's just really she's out there. She's like, I'm going to say what is exactly on my mind at any given moment. But because it's there and it's coming from her, it's very, like, race is like right up there in this. So to not have those ethnic divisions and to try to like leave somebody as light skinned is like, I'm like, what does that mean to you in this? So anyway, again, like, hairstyle could have helped with that, other things, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, pretty decent audio description, and I just hope that it is what it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna Get Millie Black, I'm gonna give it a B, only because like the plot is kind of just been there, done that. But man, the flavor here, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a voice here that I really want to hear again, but I want to hear this voice on a project that is not a procedural crime drama, if that makes any sense. Like, whoever's creating this and writing this, I want you to get rid of procedural crime dramas and go write something else, because I love the voice. I love the originality here. And I'm loving Millie Black. I just need Millie Black to have a story that feels as unique as she is. So thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.